Hello, my name is Mark Ruffalo, and I am reporting to you from some urban city in America where I have noticed that there is an abundance of people doing weird things with posters and markers. So let's check it out. Alright, so I noticed you guys are working on these posters. Why are you writing this?
To protest about the Vietnam War.
And why do you feel it's necessary?
Because we feel like the war isn't right and we shouldn't be fighting a war in an Asian country and putting our lives in danger.
But I mean, like it's good to expand our territory and farmland, to boost our military prowess. So why is that a bad thing?
Because we're still putting American lives in danger, and there's not really a point of fighting the war.
I mean, in every war, we put people's lives in danger, So, there's always risk involved. So what makes the Vietnam War any less valid? How about you, Disney?
I believe that it's their problems. I don't think we should get involved in their their business. I think by continuing this war, it'll make an even bigger problem for us.
I mean, according to the government, the president, he said that we're doing a pretty good job.
I've been seeing on the news pictures of how bad the war is for the army, and I don't think it's worth it.
Everyone else might be lying.
Nah, you guys are just stupid.
Bring our boys home.
No more war.
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 No
Bring
more
our
war.
boys home.
No more war.
No more war. No more war.
No more war.
No more war.
Son, what do you think you're doing? Hey, get away from me. Bro! No more war.
Bring our boys home. Whoa! What are you doing? What do you think you're doing?
Alright, so what exactly went down between you two?
Well, he took my sign and ripped it in half, and he was violating my freedom of speech, so I attacked him.
Alright, so you violated his freedom of speech. Why would he do that?
It was
What
my
was he
job
doing?
as a police officer to intervene in the situations and keep public demand under control. He was violating those laws, and I stepped in to do that. His retaliation through physical violence was not the case to solve that problem.
Alright, so what you're saying is that he was protesting in a way that was a disturbance to the public, and you took it upon you as a police officer. It is your job to keep the public safe, maintain the peace, and then he in turn retaliated unjustly.
Sure did, sir.
Well, then how come the people in other cities are allowed to protest and we can't?
There's retaliation on other cities as well, but what I was told from the deputy was to go into the situation and keep under control, and that's what I did.
See, so he tried to diffuse it peacefully, because you all were warned previously not to engage in these types of things, because it always gets, a bit dirty and messy. And so you had fair warning, and you chose to ignore that and proceed to get engaged in such activities.
Sounds about fair.
Yeah, so does he have any other repercussions as a result of his behavior?
Well, repercussions wise, no, but I would like to say GG easy hippie.
Hey gang, Mark Ruffalo here, back with the scoop, the news, whatever's good, I've been doing some research and got news about the hippie who, assaulted the police officer. The hippie got time for about 2 weeks, so he's serving there. police officers got free, you know, because in the government you can do like whatever you want as long as, you know, it's in the code and it agrees with however the government's politically aligned with at the time. And I've been doing some research, learning about the people, motives, and the actual cause, and it turns out that it's pretty good. You know, there's a lot of valid points, and we shouldn't really be involved in the war, actually. Let's see. There's a couple songs actually that I found. I asked around. There's one called "I Don't Want to Go to Vietnam" by John Lee Hooker. It's basically like maybe 10 sentences repeated over and over and over again. Sitting down here thinking, I don't want to go to Vietnam. That's the very first line. Let's see. I got so much friends in Vietnam. I might not never see them no more. You men in the street have so much trouble of their own. Why they want to fight in Vietnam? Okay. So the gist of this song basically is like, we don't need to go to Vietnam because there's problems here already that we're not solving. And the government, I don't know what the government is doing. I think they might address it in other songs. So let's go to the next one. Draft Dodger Rag by Phil Oakes. Oh, this is basically like an excuse list. Like he lists all these health issues and, you know, emotional problems and just like whatever he can to get out of it. Yeah, that one just shows like how people dislike it. But let's see. I hope this next one. Lyndon Johnson Told the Nation by Tom Paxton. All right. So it's a pretty good song. Around the end is where it's really clear. Well, here I sit in this rice paddy, wondering about Big Daddy, and I know that Lyndon loves me so. Yet how sadly I remember, way back yonder in November, when he said I'd never have to go. So apparently the government, you know, did an oopsie, and they made the draft. They sent people over when they said they wouldn't. And Lyndon Johnson told the nation, have no fear of escalation. I am trying everyone to please. So the people, or at least the people who care, they're saying the government is just being a people pleaser, you know. I'm assuming it means that they're pleasing the big men, the companies, the other governments, you know, like the people. It's more power that can bring more to the table versus like common people, you know, middle class whites and minorities. All right, the very last line. We're sending 50,000 more to help save Vietnam from the Vietnamese. So there's a bit to unpack from that. So what I've come to understand is that we're fighting. We're with one side of the Vietnamese. We're helping them fight the other side. We're fighting the commies, I guess. And I'm assuming the United States has some stake in this, you know, otherwise, like, why fight a war in another country, you know, if you're not going to gain anything from it? So probably gonna capitalize on it, you know, institutions of democracy in America. It'll be like a second Hawaii. Yeah. Yeah, basically what I have to say is that turns out the government is bad. Protesters are good. We shouldn't be fighting in Vietnam. It's a big government scheme, you know. I don't even know like what they're doing because they're not even succeeding. Yeah. That's it, I guess. Mark Ruffalo signing off.